media slang banging in your boombox. Verbal violence, lyrical stylist. In a time when rock hip-hop rhymes are childish, you can't tempt me with rhymes that are empty. Rapping to a beat doesn't make you an MC. With your lack of skill and facility, you're killing me. And a DJ in the group just for credibility. I heard that some of you are getting help with your rhymes. You're not an MC if someone else writes your lines. Rapping over rock doesn't make you a pioneer, cause rock and hip-hop collaborated for years. But now they're getting randomly mixed and matched up, all after a fast buck, and all the tracks suck. So how does it stack up? None of it's real. You wanna be an MC, you gotta study the skill. Who can rock a rhyme like this? Bring it to you every time like this. Who can rock a rhyme like this? Step, step up, step, step up. Who can rock a rhyme like this? Bring it to you every time like this. Who can rock a rhyme like this? Step, step up, step, step up. Yo, peep the style and the kids checking for it. The number one question is how could you ignore it? We drop right back in the cut over basement tracks with raps that got you backing this up like rewind that. We're just rolling with the rhythm, rise from the ashes of stylistic division. With these non-stop lyrics of life living, not to be forgotten but still unforgiven. But in the meantime there are those who wanna talk this and that. So I suppose that it gets to a point where feelings gotta get hurt and get dirty with the people spreading the dirt. It goes,
try to give you warning, but everyone ignores me.
Told you everything loud and clear,
but nobody's listening. Called to you so clearly, but you don't want to hear me.
Told you everything loud and clear,
but nobody's listening.
Watch them flee. Watch them flee. Watch them flee. Hip-hop heads. The rhythm projects round, the next sound reflects a complex hybrid dialect now. Detect the mesh of many elements compressed down, the melting pot of a super futuresque style. The combination of a vocal caress with lungs that gasp for breath from emotional stress with special effects. In a distorted collage, carefully lies between beats of a rhythmic barrage. It's going down, the logical progression on the timeline. The separation narrowed down to a fine line to blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey. Now it's going down, a logical progression on the timeline. The separation narrowed down to a fine line to blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey. Now it's going down. Put it out for the world to see. LP and X-Men through the 10th degree. Going down. Nobody in the world is safe when we melt down the wax in your record creek. Going down. Put it out for the world to see. LP and X-Men through the 10th degree. Going down. Nobody in the world is safe when we melt down the wax in your record creek. Going down. Put it on. And it goes like this. Do it like this. Once again it is composed sentences, altogether venomous. The four elements of natural force projected daily through the sound of the source. Everybody on board as we blend the sword with the pen. The mightiest the weapon swinging right for the chin. To elevate mental states long gone with the wind. To defend men from shoddy imitation pretends it's going down. Style assimilation, readily trekking through the weaponry of a pure pedigree. Cleverly seeing through whatever is ahead of me. Whatever the weather be, we advance steadily. Now subterrestrial hot, a rhyme regiment that's calling the shots. Execution of collaborative plots, ready to bring the separation of style to a stop. It's going down, a logical progression on the timeline. The separation narrowed down to a fine line to blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey. Now, a logical progression on the timeline. The separation narrowed down to a fine line to blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey. As it's going down, a logical progression on the timeline. The separation narrowed down to a fine line to blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey. As it's going down, a logical progression on the timeline. The separation narrowed down to a fine line to blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey. As it's going down, a logical progression on the timeline. The separation narrowed down to a fine line to blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey. As it's going down.